Third. You could swap name tags and you get not all on your own. Okay. It's 7 o'clock. I call this Gardner Electric Advisory Board meeting to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, if anybody in the audience would like to make comments on an issue not listed, you may do so now. Seeing none, let's move on to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
Chairman, I move that minutes are approved as written.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Any discussion? No. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. We don't have, do I need to record?
Bill, I'll scribble it down and we'll get it taken care of. The city clerk couldn't make it, and she'll be looking at the video and we'll construct some minutes.
Okay.
So, yeah,
We're going to change the plan and add a new number one new business item. We're going to recognize Matt for getting his journeyman. So I'm going to turn that over to Dave.
Okay. So, Matt, if you'd be kind to join me.
Yeah.
Both Matt and Sid Matthews have completed their apprenticeship program, received their certificates this week for him a journeyman line maintainer. And I just wanted to recognize Matt and present him with a certificate signed by the state officials and city officials. So this would augment the card you got yesterday.
Thank you, yeah.
And in honor of Matt, presents you with an All-Tech truck.
All right. You got my name on it?
Okay. Well,
yeah, on the outside, okay.
Yeah, but anyway, I just wanted to congratulate you. Matt took his initial training at the Southeast Lineman Training Center in Georgia. In what city in Georgia?
Trenton, Georgia.
Trenton, Georgia, okay.
That was about 10 minutes from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Okay, very good. And completed our program, which was 4 years, and stepped through it. And, you know, we got the paperwork done back in April and got it in just in time to miss the April sending of all the information, so we had to wait till the next quarter to get it. So Matt and Sid were fairly reasonably patient.
Yeah, it seemed like it took forever, but
But we've got it now, and congratulations.
Yep, thank you too, Dave. I
Job
appreciate
well
it.
done. And
Awesome. Thank you. I
bet.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for the job well
Thanks,
done.
Matt.
All right, well, I'll leave you guys alone. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys, for taking the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yep, good luck, guys.
Next, we're going to review the final draft of the WAPA, the Western Area Power Administration Integrated Resource Plan. Dave, are you going to kick that off? Where's Greg? Okay.
Yeah, as I said in the email I sent to you all in July, we received a response to our letter requesting that we be allowed to submit this toward the end of October. They said no, you've got till the end of, basically the end of August to get it submitted. We reviewed our schedule. Our schedule is structured around trying to hit council meetings, providing adequate review time, and felt that if we accelerated things, began a public comment period in July. It closed last Friday. Didn't receive any comments per se. I did receive one comment that is sort of related, but I can't say that it's part of this. It was one gentleman had sent a request for a EV charging station, and then he had come back and sent another comment saying, well, have you considered putting one in at City Hall? Whether that's related to this, I don't know, but that is the only electrical related comment I received during the whole period. Okay. So what we'd like to do, Greg will review the The Section 8, which is kind of the meat of it, with you all tonight. Ultimately, we'd ask for your recommendation for council approval. They'll be considering the final form of it on Monday, adopting it by resolution. Then we'll get it sent to Western Area Power Authority Administration next week. With that, I'll turn it over to Greg.
Thanks, David.
And let me get the PowerPoint up. One moment, please. Okay.
Great. I don't know if you had an opportunity to review the draft yourself. There's 9 sections to it. 1 through 7 is sort of perfunctory, where you give them information about the city and what supplies we currently have, what we've done in demand-side management programs, if we've had any need to integrate those functions, and we could discuss that in the first 7 sections. Section 8 is what we consider the meat of the program, and what I'd like to do today is kind of discuss Section 8 and tell you what we've recommended the council approve. First of all, let me see if I can get this to work. I went the wrong way, didn't I? Oh, there we go. Why now do an IRP? From the last presentation, Western requires us to comply with the Energy Planning and Management Program and Section 114 of the Energy Act of 1992. This IRP allows the city to meet those objectives. The purpose of the Energy Planning and Management Program is to incorporate demand side, in addition to supply side, to incorporate demand side management programs, things such as energy efficiency, load management, use of renewable energy, and conservation proposals or options available to us. An action plan needs to provide these steps that you can see there. I don't need to read them to you, but basically it provides us a roadmap about how to go about putting together the integrated resource plan. As I indicated, Section 8 action plan is broken into the 5 years. The plan is a 5-year plan. The initial plan, IRP plan, is a 5-year plan. And year 1, we have an approach that we think, from the direction we received at our August 3rd meeting, I believe it was, July 3rd meeting that we had, we think we've incorporated the board's request to approach this in increments that can be swallowed by the city staff, both in personnel and in funding. And so that's the approach we've taken. As you can see in year 1, we're going to do some surveying. We're going to try to find out what's been done in the city in the past. And some of that is already contained in some of the sections, of the previous sections of the IRP, of what the city's done. But what the city has done in demand-side management has never really been incorporated in the overall need for supply/demand-side management analysis. Obviously, the biggest year 1 objective is to select a program administrator, someone who can take the requirements that are contained in this integrated resource plan and implement it. That person needs to research practices in IRP. They need to evaluate current proposed demand-side management programs, and also determine how you go about evaluating those programs relative to the supply side options that the city is currently evaluating also. That was in year 1. Now, the reason you got to remember year 1 is a truncated year because we were supposed to have this done on April 1st of 2014, and Dave indicated to you the need to expand this because of what happened at KMEA and our request to expand, delay for 2 months our final initial program. So anyway, the year 1 really is going to be, and again, depending on when they hire I believe it's called an engineer for compliance, a compliance engineer, which I'm assuming is who's going to be handed off the task of complying with this particular requirement. And that's still, I guess, I don't even know if it's out there in the marketplace yet.
It's not.
Okay. So in addition to year one, the beginning of year two, whoever is doing this program is going to have to make a report back to Western about what we've done in year one. And that's part of the requirement. Each year, there has to be an annual update provided to Western on the components of the plan that we submitted to them that hopefully gets approved, and how we are accomplishing those objectives or components that we said we were going to get accomplished. So that's in year two. And then basically years 3 through 5 is looking at the infrastructure, the Integrated Resource Plan infrastructure needs that we have to put in place to make sure that we're coordinating supply-side analysis with demand-side programs, and how we go about relating that information to City Council, to the board, to affected stakeholders, and the administrator, needs to bring people together somewhere in the 3 to 5 year period and start planning for the second 5-year IRP. So our approach then has been to take small steps into the planning process for an IRP, primarily because this city's never performed integrated resource planning that incorporated demand-side